For so long, guys, you know that I've been in the quest of finding out the truth about the birth certificates of Archie and Lily, or their origins, or whether or not their births were legitimate. Because there's only four requirements that must be met in order for a child to be included in the line of succession. Being included in the line of succession has constitutional consequences. And Archie and Lilibet, they haven't had any verification of who gave birth to those children, which is actually quite mandatory. We've heard Harry, the incredible story of Wonder Woman Meghan Markle walking out of a room 1 hour after giving delivery to Archie, having had two epidurals. And with an epidural, she gave a bathtub birth to Archie. And within 2 hours, they were back to Frogmore Cottage. Impossible. So Meghan Markle is Wonder Woman indeed. So I'm going to discuss here, and what I found out, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. And it's been staring at our faces the whole time. So why is the palace covering it up? And I think that now we really do need answers. We do need the mainstream media to go and figure this out, because there is no way that Archie and Lily should be in the line of succession, given what we now know. Before we do, and because I know there's a lot of controversy about this issue, people asking whether Harry and Meghan can call, or Meghan can call herself Duchess, she can call herself Meghan Sussex. This is the heraldry as Harry's registered in the books of history in the royal palace and the palace and everywhere. His name at birth was Henry Charles Albert David, in parenthesis, Mountbatten Windsor. His title is HRH Prince, and his suffix is the first Duke of Sussex. He was born 15 September 1984 in London, England. And then they give you a little bit of information, and they tell you when he was made Duke of Sussex. And here they confirm that his father is now, you can see this has been updated, His Majesty Charles III Philip Arthur George, in parenthesis, Mountbatten Windsor, King of the United Kingdom, and his mother was Lady Diana Frances Spencer. What I found really interesting is that his Harry's wife, or who he's married, is Rachel Meghan Markle. But then they have this little bit here that says, the marriage of Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, to Rachel Meghan Engleson, née Markle. That means that at some point, Meghan changed her last name to Engleson, and then she changed it back. They had to verify that they could get married in the Church of England because Meghan was a divorced woman. So they needed the approval of the Church of England in order to do so. I just thought you should see that his last names are Mountbatten Windsor, because many of you are still asking about it. We all remember the joyful occasion when it was announced that Meghan had given birth to a daughter, whom she named Lilibet, against the Queen's wishes. After all, why start following the Queen's wishes now? What's the point? So yes, it was announced that Lilibet was born in Santa Barbara on June 4th, 2021. Suddenly, weird things started to happen, because the obstetrician who helped deliver Lilibet shut her practice with little notice, telling patients she needs to focus on my own health and be with my family. Her name is Dr. Melissa Drake. And her husband happens to coincidentally own a fertility clinic. But she quit with given barely 10 days notice to patients, which is unheard of. And of course, we all happily celebrated Lilibet's first birthday. Remember that cute picture that was allegedly taken in London? And now we found out that that is not true, that actually these children have never come, at least they haven't returned to London since Harry and Meghan left. For at least 2-3 years, I have been trying to get a copy of the birth certificate for Lilibet, because it seems that the newspapers are able to get it. I don't know how, but I haven't been able to get it. And I've shared the emails with you guys. I am sharing it with you once more. As you can read here, this is me writing to the Vital Records Office of California, complaining that I paid the $43 fee and I didn't get, I was told that there are no details of any child born with the name Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor on June 4th, 2021. And as you can see, this is their response telling me 2 days later that greetings, thank you. They couldn't find it. So they are going to issue a certificate of no public record, CNPR, because they can't find the record of Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. The only option available to me is to use the birth certificates that are out there in the public domain posted by the newspapers, which we assume they got them legally, right? And as we can see here, this is Santa Barbara County, and you see certificate of live birth, Santa Barbara Cottage, she was born. And this is completely where it says the Duke of Sussex. That's Harry's first name. And his last name is His Royal Highness. Okay. Which we know is incorrect, right? This was issued on July 2nd, 2021. I want you to pay attention to this number right here. The 105-202, the 105-2021, 163, 206. That number is incredibly important. Now I turn to the Daily Mail, who is showing the birth certificate, but they're showing it because they're angry that Harry's listing his name as the Duke of Sussex and His Royal Highness. But what's important here, because this is another document from another newspaper, is again, the very same number, 105-2021, 163, 206. And just to be safe, this is from TMZ, by the way. They published it. When they originally published it, it had the numbers here displayed. This number was displayed, but now they have blocked it out. They have blocked both numbers. But unfortunately for Rachel, Meghan Markle, and Prince Harry, the other newspapers didn't block it. So it's public access. Now you're wondering, why does that number really matter, Paula? You're asking, Paula's lost her marbles, right? Paula has definitely, it's out in the public domain, thinking craziness. This is directly from the government's website, guys. And this is reviewing a birth certificate, birth area code. Okay. And then it tells you what it is. It's the first 3 digits. You remember the 105 that you saw? Is the birth area code. It tells you in which state the child was born. We have seen that in Lilibet's birth certificate. It states that her number is 105. So surely that is California, right? It turns out that California is 104. It's right here. Sorry. It's 104. And Colorado is 105. So it's kind of made me question, and I said maybe there is a county that it's just an exception, or maybe this is something just for Social Security, right? Until you get to the part you're reading above, that the birth certificate, birth area code for Santa Barbara, California is 104, not 105. However, before I did this video, I called the California Vital Records Office. And the reason why I'm recording my screen telephone, the screen of my telephone, is because we all know that lives have been made about me, trying to defame me, saying that I'm making things up or that I'm editing or issuing fraudulent emails. So I am recording directly from my screen phone. And you can see here, and you can watch it. You can see that's the number. You can see how long I talked to the people, which is 25 minutes and 45 seconds that I spent talking to the Office of Vital Records of the state of California. And let's not forget that Archie is 6th in line to the throne and Lilibet is 7th in line to the throne, which is insane. because Archie also, we have our reservations about his birth, and yet they are in the line of succession. For my American friends who don't know what it is a requirement in order to include a child or anybody in the succession, the line of succession, it goes to the Succession Act. It has to be a marriage between a man and a woman. We know that Harry is a man or a wanker, and Meghan Markle is a skank, but still a female skank. That's out of the way. That's requirement number one. Requirement number two, that they are married in the Church of England, which they did. Remember this spectacle? Number three, that the children are conceived naturally, mean doing the deed. And number four, that the child is delivered from the body of the woman. And the way that we confirm that is by having the signatures of the doctors or the names of the doctors and the staff, because these have to be made public, because there can be no doubt in the minds of the UK people, of the realms, that these children are legitimately there. And this is why you see the easels posted outside on Buckingham Palace whenever a child is born. The only two that we don't have like that are Harry's children and Meghan Markle's kids. You all know that I wrote to Parliament and requested an FOIA on, I just wanted them to confirm to me whether Archie was born at the Portland hospital, because Parliament is the body that regulates and ensures that all the legal requirements are met in order to include a child in the line of succession. So they have to have the documents with the doctor's names, the hospital name, and everything. And all of that should be made public record. And you know that they responded to me that they're not a hospital, and therefore they're not going to provide the records for me. And then they told me to contact the palace, but that the palace, it is not really subject to FOIA. I contacted the lady. The 25-minute and 45-second call I made to the Office of Vital Records was to ask if there was any way that there was a county or if there was any area in California where a child would get a 105 birth area code. And she said no, that the birth area code of a child of the state of California is 104. And then if you start to pile things up, the fact that they haven't been able to find a record, who's providing those records to the newspapers? Who's providing those records to the newspapers? I'd like to know, because I've gotten an answer and I've been given a certificate of no public record found directly from the Central Registry of California. And they have put Harry's names as royal titles, which is again not allowed in the state of California. Not only me been trying to get a hold of those certificates, but everybody, other YouTubers as well. We've wasted money because we never get them. So now that I've shown you that the area code for the state of California for any child born in the state of California is 104, and I've shown you that Lily's is 105, we have a problem. And the fact that the state of California can't find any child there. In Colorado, you have to be a relative or a legal guardian. And by relative, it means the mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, brother, and sister. Not second cousins, not third cousins once removed. So I am unable to get a copy of that birth certificate as a third party. And clearly, I'm not a legal guardian of Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. Could it have been a mistake? I'm sure. Because the kind lady told me, and she said to me that you can correct an area code on a U.S. birth certificate. What is really interesting to me, guys, though, in all of this is that how can Meghan Markle and Harry, such high-profile individuals, would have such an oversight? And Parliament, who is in charge of verifying these documents before any child is included in the line of succession, have failed to do this. And they have the capabilities. And me, a little YouTuber here, can spend money making a phone call for 25 minutes and 45 seconds and figure this out. And the royal family, the MI6, UK Parliament, are unable to figure it out. So it could be an honest mistake. But then again, California does not allow titles to be included in official birth documents, birth certificate documents. So we know that that's fake. The Office of Certificate of Vital Records has sent me emails and certificate of no record found. They haven't been able to find it. And then we have the 105 number, which states that that child was born in Colorado. So is this a whole cover up? Is Lilibet adopted? Is Lilibet a surrogate? In any case, there are too many discrepancies in this document for Lilibet to be in the line of succession without any inspection whatsoever, or for any serious journalist to have overlooked at this. How can the Daily Mail, how can all these people, the Telegraph, they're all more focused on Harry using his Royal Highness, and I don't know if that's a distraction, than rather actually going to the detail and the core of things, which is, where was this child born? Why are we talking about this? Because this is incredibly shocking, and yet no newspaper wants to touch this subject. We have been fooled. The palace is in collusion because they must know. They must know. And if the child is adopted or was born through a surrogate, or any of the details do not match, the child cannot be in the line of succession. We know right now that at least the details on the birth certificate do not match. And therefore, Lilibet should not be in the line of succession. And Paula, this is a call to action to all of you guys out there. And feel free to look up the information, investigate it, and let me know what you think, because this cannot continue anymore. And please watch the video at the end. And as usual, if you found this information interesting, please don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe, beautiful people.